I've been on BookTube about 10 days, a week and a half now, but I've already learned let me hold that where you can see it. I've already learned 5 things about BookTube that I wanted to share with you. Those of you who've been on here a long time, you probably know this already. Those of you who are new, maybe you haven't noticed this yet. But just as someone who is new to BookTube, this is what I've noticed so far. First thing that I learned about BookTube is the reading events. I didn't even know this was a thing. But I come into BookTube near the end of May, and lo and behold, there's something called June on the Range. And I'm being encouraged to read Westerns. Never read a Western before in my life, but I just decided, you know what? I want to see what this is all about. Picked up some Westerns. I've completed one of them. And what I have found is that I really love Westerns. And I wouldn't have ever found that out if it wasn't for the reading events here on BookTube. So the reading events are really cool. I don't think I'll take part in all of them, but occasionally they're a lot of fun. And it's helping me get into types of books that I wouldn't read ordinarily. So first one, reading events, really cool. The second thing that I've noticed that stands out is I just call it a caring community. Something that's really cool to see in the video I've done about the newbie tag, new to BookTube, and I've noticed others who have come on to BookTube in the last maybe month or maybe just within the last few days, is there's always at least a handful of comments from a lot of times fairly well-established booktubers who are like, hey, good to have you here, looking forward to what you bring to the table. Like, that's really cool to see. It's really cool to see a group of people who, while you obviously have your well-known individuals and people that you watch and you've been watching for a long time, it's also really cool to see how kind of you have your eye on the door who is entering the room, so to speak. So that's something else I've noticed that's really neat about BookTube, is it's a very caring community so far in my experience. Number 3, something else I've noticed that's neat about BookTube is it's a global group. It's not just, say, the United States, or it's not just, say, a country in Europe. It's people spread throughout the world. It's really neat to watch some of these live streams that some of the booktubers do, and it might be 3 or 4 people, and they're all in a different country. That's like a really interesting thing to me, and really cool thing to me. I live in the United States. Obviously, I don't know if you can tell from the way I'm talking, but you probably can. I live in the state of Alabama in the United States. Also, you could probably tell that. But it's really neat to get to listen to and to hear from people all across the world. It's a really cool thing about BookTube that I think other communities, maybe while they have, BookTube, that's something that really shines in this community. The fourth thing I've noticed, and especially maybe to those who are new to BookTube like myself, I think you're going to like to hear this, but I've noticed that you can take your own approach when it comes to how you record and to how you edit your videos for BookTube. Sure, you can take a very heavily edited approach, and there are booktubers who do that. They put a lot of time and effort into editing their videos and doing graphics and things like that. But also, there are some of the most well-known people in the BookTube community. Steve Donahue comes to mind, and I've watched several of his videos. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to books, and I really like watching some of his videos so far. But I've also noticed that a lot of times his thumbnail, maybe it's a picture he takes, but a lot of times it's an image from within his stream that YouTube has provided for him, and he kind of hits record on the camera and just goes, says what he wants to say, and then when he's done, he stops hitting record and he uploads the video. A very, I guess, a minimalistic approach to the editing process. And he's one of the most well-known, well-respected people within the BookTube community. So editing and how you're going to go about recording and editing your videos, you can really kind of take an approach kind of how you want to do it. And that's a really neat thing. That's not true in other niches or other communities, other areas within YouTube. That's not always the case. But in this one, it's a little bit more about having a conversation, just a normal conversation, and it's not highly dolled up, so to speak, or edited, or it's just kind of an informal conversation, just talking with folks. And that's really cool. Not having the pressure to be this, you really got to put hours and hours and hours into editing it. You can do that, and that's fine, but that pressure is not there. So that was the fourth thing that I noticed. And then number 5, I don't know why I'm holding up fingers. It's, you know what number we're on. You can also see it down, if I did the chapters, which I'm planning to, you'll see it down there. Anyway, number 5, and this is one that stood out to me. Maybe this is not your problem, but number 5 is you fall in love with reading all over again. I've always loved reading, but just to read for the fun of it, I think I'd maybe kind of gotten away from that a little bit. You know, I couldn't tell you the last time I picked up just a novel or a book of fiction. I mean, I'd read a lot of, biographies and history and sports books, and obviously behind me here, a lot of religious material, all good. Love reading those things, but just kind of reading to pick it up and it just be some fun fictional story like hadn't done that in so long. And I've been doing that more here lately. Let me tell you, it has helped me to, I guess I never fell out of love with reading, but it's helped me to fall deeper in love with reading in a way that I wasn't really expecting when I came to the BookTube community. So if you've been struggling with loving reading, or maybe that relationship with reading has kind of become stale, I think what you'll find when you come to BookTube is you will find a community of people whose excitement and joy and passion for reading and books and learning and stories, it's going to help you rediscover that love you had with reading, kind of rekindle that flame with books once again. So I'm new to BookTube, been here a couple weeks at most, but these are 5 things I've already noticed so far. No doubt as I go further into this, I'm going to notice more, but let me know what you think. Let me know what your experience with BookTube has been so far, whether you've been here a long time or whether you've been here less time than I have. Let me know what you think. I'd be interested to hear. But BookTube, this has been Read with Jay, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.